Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to start out by addressing the elephant in the room. You've all been hearing the rumors floating around the internet. Many of you have come up to me. Some of you are thrilled with the news. Others feel that it's a sacrilege. I want to make it here, official today at Comic-Con. Burn Notice will be back for season 6. Dead, yes, it will be remade, and shut up about it. I might be the old guy at the end, but that's it. That's the longest continuous laugh I've ever heard. On to other pressing matters. I'm here to share some fun facts about Comic-Con. I love Comic-Con. What's not to like about Comic-Con? I'm going to start with the highlight of my trip here. The restroom. When I was able to get in. I mean, where else but Comic-Con can you watch Boba Fett waiting in line to take a leak behind Harry Potter, who was pissed that a 500-pound Xena was holding everything up? And you should see the men's room. Comic-Con is full of things you don't see every day. Thank God. Like a 75-year-old man in a Princess Leia thong. I kept saying, Dad, you look so stupid in that thing. A lot of Evil Dead tattoos. Starting to see more of those. Got any Evil Dead tattoos out there? Losers. There's a parlor here. Get one made. You know, all these, walking billboards are great, so I encourage all Evil Dead tattoos, but you gotta be careful with certain Comic-Con fans, because a guy came up to me and he said, "Hey Bruce, would you like your face on my ass?" I said, "Sure," but it turns out he wasn't talking about tattoos. Yeah, think about that one, it's disgusting. Little known facts, Comic-Con has grown so much it affects the local economy. By the end of this convention weekend, the consumption of Diet Biggie Gulps, Twizzlers, Ding Dongs, Ho-Hos, and Circus Peanuts will reach an all-time high. Meanwhile, fresh fruit and vegetable vendors are taking a well-earned break this weekend. Comic-Con also accounts for the increase in sales of camouflage cargo shorts, unpressed, black t-shirts, flip-flops, basketball shorts worn by people who don't play basketball, and Michael Weston-inspired sunglasses sold to people who don't go out. Average hours of nightly sleep for hardcore convention goers this weekend. Yeah. No shit. Now the good news is for all of you sleep-deprived fans, the panel for Covert Affairs is up next. The average daily showers taken by attendees. 0 again. You're exactly right. You know what I found out? The showers are free at the hotels. It's so weird. Anyway, there's good news. Trips to the emergency room plummet this time of year here in San Diego. Comic-Con goers do not go to the hospitals when they die of heart disease. They're simply teleported to a higher realm. Yeah. Look, I want to thank you for being here. Why the hell is Burn Notice here? I think it's because our ratings are out of this world. Our bad guys are terrifying. Almost as terrifying as Comic-Con fans. Who's yelling what out there? What do you have to say? Stand up, people. Let's do it, lady. Enough enough of this nonsense. This brings us to Matt Nix. He's not only a great writer, producer, and director, but I think possibly one of the best showrunners on television today. I can honestly say this. If it weren't for Matt Nix, I would not be talking about him right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Matt Nix.
Why do I need to be here? I think we just... let's talk about the Fall of Sam X.
Fall of Sam X. That's why we're here. It's released on DVD today, I believe. Is it not?
Available for sale later at the booth, 5 days early for...
Available for sale? Hell, we're giving it away right now! Watch your eyes. You'll not be responsible for your injury. There's more to come, depending on how well behaved you are. I'm sorry, man.
No. So, serious question. Apropos of my introduction of you, I was thinking about my experience growing up watching, from when I was a very small child, watching some of your later work. That's okay. No, and I was thinking about the through lines of a Bruce Campbell character, because sitting down to write this movie, it's not the same as writing an episode of Burn Notice. It's writing a movie for you. And I was thinking about the characters you played, and I wanted to get you to talk a little bit about the through line. What is there of Bruce Campbell in Ash? What is there of Bruce Campbell in Sam X? What can we see as the through line? Like what? I have my own perspective on that, but blowhard. Nice hair, but I just want to know what's your thought?
Well, I think every role it has to be some version of you. You can't escape who you are, the essence of it. So, the character Ash would be me on my worst, stupidest day. Sam X is pretty much me right now. So then when I heard the prequel was coming up 5 years earlier, I'm like, darker hair, less weight. Got it. Okay. So that's how I prepared for the role.
Learned that in acting school. That's great.
Yeah.
So actually, preparations for the role. Obviously, we're shooting in Colombia. Now, to give everybody a sense of the... Well, actually, I'll ask you. Tell me about shooting in Colombia. What do you think? What were some of the special challenges?
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Anyone been to Colombia? Yes. You made it back. You paid the ransom? Okay, it worked out for you? I knew things were weird in Bogota because there's a policeman in full uniform in my vehicle all the time. And if someone came up to the window, he would just go, and they would run from our car. I had to get kind of tan for this movie because there's not a lot of, you don't go to Bogota, Colombia to get tan per se. So I knew it was a little weird when the police officer followed me into the tanning salon. I'm like, sir, it's not necessary and you're creeping me out. And now everyone in the whole salon is going, why does he need a cop? Who's he? It's a little weird that there's a lot of police in Bogota. You know what? There's a lot of cliches about Colombia. Let me put them to bed now. There was none of our crew members were kidnapped. There was no extortion. There were no issues whatsoever. This is a country that's made a lot of progress in the last even 10 years. So we never had any problem there. And I'll ask you this. Why Colombia? Because you wrote the damn thing.
Well, honestly, we wanted to do something where it wasn't in Miami. We were putting you in a country that was definitely not the Burn Notice feel. That is something new. Fox TV Studios, who produced it, had a relationship with a studio down there. I will say though, you have this idea when you see a movie or whatever that it's done in this very sort of that it's all very professional and planned out, right? And when you're shooting in Colombia, this was literally the biggest thing that had ever been done in Colombia by a Colombian crew. You're probably not thinking about the 2 hours in traffic that you could spend driving to set. You're not thinking about, actually we had a record day. Normally on a movie you might shoot 3 or 4 pages a day. We set a record. Do you remember the number of pages on the last day of production?
117 pages. It was
actually 15 and a half pages that we shot on the last day of production because you gotta get it done any way you can. And the Colombian crew was really terrific. They were really game and enthusiastic and fantastic. But you're in a place where people haven't done this necessarily, and our effects guys come to us and announce a few days in, oh, we can't import gunpowder at all. Which, if you've seen Burn Notice, is sort of a problem.
How'd you get around that? What happened? Who'd you bribe?
Well, actually, it turns out propane. You can bring propane, and we were able to get permits for certain kinds of blanks. But there's one guy in the entire country who makes squibs, which are the things that explode when you fire at someone. And so we kept the squib guy. I don't think he's going to have to work for another few years. We kept him very busy. So actually, I had another question for you. This movie gives us the origin story of your alter ego on Burn Notice, Chuck Finley. So I was wondering, who? We're 5 years into the show now. Chuck Finley has sort of evolved as an alter ego, right? Has doing this movie informed who that character is for you, who you are as Chuck Finley, and indeed has doing this movie, because in a way this is a more serious take on the character. This is telling a lot about your origin story.
It is yes and no, but I think the tone of this movie is lighter than Burn Notice.
That's absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Why is that?
Well, a real answer. It kind of goes back to the first question, which is my first question, which has to do with you and your character, because I think that there's a certain lightness that you bring to anything you do, and writing a scene for you, like this is going to make you uncomfortable. I hear your voice in my head now. No, but it's true. I'll be sleeping with my wife, and you'll be saying, "Come on, kid."
Why don't you just let me sleep with your wife and we'll just...
No, but I think that you bring that lightness, your characters bring that lightness. There's that sense, it's not really a Bruce Campbell movie unless it's fun. And so I don't think that, I don't think it's about seeing Sam cry, you know what I mean? It's about seeing you engage with other characters. Although this actually did contain something that we really haven't done on the show much. You've had love interests on the show that are, I'd say more comedic love interests. You sort of Sam's a player in Miami. This actually is a love interest where you actually get to kiss her.
She kisses me.
She kisses you, exactly. Yeah.
Keely Sanchez.
Keely Sanchez of Blade.
Guys, it's not that exciting. I mean, she seems like she's hot as hell and everything, with that cocoa butter skin of hers, and luminous eyes, and beautiful teeth, and hot little rocket bod. It's not that big of a deal. I cheat on my wife all the time, but just in front of a camera. I got some questions for you.
Sure.
What makes Sam Axe different from Michael Weston? Obviously, you couldn't have him take the approach that Michael Weston would. He wouldn't solve it how Michael Weston would. Right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think actually, and this movie sort of gets at that. I think Sam is a character who is all about doing the right thing. I mean, it's a little more sincere than the tone of this panel, but when I think of Sam Axe, he's kind of the best older brother there ever was. He's the guy that you want by your side. He's the guy that's going to do the right thing and going to stand up for you and tell you when you're wrong and all of those things. And so that that for me is where I go when I write a character. And despite your many shortcomings, as the word said, I think, to answer my own question from earlier, that actually is a trait that you share. I mean, you really do what you bring to the set, who you are on the show, is somebody who will call it like it is, always with a smile, take care of people, watch out for the crew, watch out for your castmates and stuff. And so it's very easy to write that. And I think, Michael's somebody who's always sort of struggling with his dark side. He's always pushing those limits.
He seems more conflicted, Michael West.
Yeah, and Sam is a straight-up guy. Sam's a guy who knows who he is and who is a grounding influence for Michael. So that's how I see it.
Thank you for your answer.
You're welcome, Bruce. Yeah.
Tell me about the casting process. Did you rely on the burn notice structure in place? Like, when this movie got made, how many burn notice people did you use in making the movie?
A lot. I mean, certainly crew-wise, we brought a lot of our key crew down, and because burn notice is made in a very specific way. I mean, it's not really like other shows on television in terms of how fast we do things and how much we try to pack into every episode, or in this case, the movie, which sort of is in terms of the production, kind of like 2 episodes squished together. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff. And so bringing along actors who were familiar with that pace was also important. I brought on some people who worked on my other show, The Good Guys, that was on Fox. So people that I'd worked with, people that I trusted, and then some other people we just cast. I mean, that actually, although that brings me to another thing, which is Jeffrey.
Mr. Jeffrey Donovan, how did he come to direct this movie?
Yeah, well, he came to direct this movie because, but that was sort of funny. It was, this will give you a sense of the politics on set at Burn Notice. Jeffrey sort of liked the idea of directing it, and then everyone was sort of like, oh, can we suggest that to Matt? Will he freak out? And then I thought it was a good idea, but I was like, I don't think we can suggest that to Bruce because he might freak out. And then Bruce is thinking, and so I remember there was this sort of, in the studio, they liked the idea, but they weren't sure in the network. And then on one day I was like, wait a second, I think we all like this idea. And I just called everybody up and I said, you guys are into JD, right? And you said yeah, and then they said yeah, and I said yeah, and then just went.
But we were sitting on the set, waiting for some shot, and he's very cagey. He goes like this. So Bruce, what's up with your, so I guess they're doing your movie, huh? Oh yeah, yes, the Sam Axe TV movie. Yeah, good for you. I'm really excited for you. And then offhand he goes, so, he does that a lot with his toes. He's very shy, Jeffrey Donovan. And he said, who's going to direct it? Oh, I said, I don't know. We got a couple guys, from Burn Notice. Put them on. We got a list. He goes, oh, you got a list, huh? Oh, you got a list for your movie now, do you? Did you enjoy working with me on that episode that I directed, Bruce? Yes, I did, Jeffrey. I thought you did a great job. What else are you going to say to the star of the show? I thought it sucked. You were an asshole. What are you going to do? Yes, Jeffrey, I think you did a great job on that. And he goes, well, and he got back to this again. Can you put me on that list? I said, I don't know. And that's when I got the death stare that Michael West. He's like, okay, I'm just kidding. You're on the list. You're on the list. And then he started to kind of go up the list somehow. I think he was hurting people in back alleys. I don't know what was happening. So he finally directed it, which was, I think he was a good director. I think he was a very good director. Because there was a scene there's a scene in the courtroom, because this is like Breaker Morant with explosions. It's more like Bad News Bears with explosions. But Sam is spending a lot of time in court. And there's a sequence where we're supposed to be arguing with each other. And after one of these takes, Donovan comes onto the set. Wow, that was exciting, wasn't it? That's the most boring tape ever been committed to cinematic history. Is this a courtroom or is it not a courtroom? You, when he says this to you, what do? No, you don't do that, you do this! And he imitates how he's supposed to act it exactly. And then that actor's like, and he turns to me and he's like, you know what to do, get at it! Jesus Christ! So, we all did what he said. So it's good, because he knows that he doesn't have to tiptoe around me. We've worked for 5 years together, you know. He can say anything. And that's a nice thing, you know. We've been to Iraq together. We've been in strange situations. So it really wasn't that unusual to be with this guy up at 11,000 feet blowing trucks up on top of the Andes Mountains.
Well, yeah, I mean, actually, it was nice for me, too, because we have a shorthand. Jeffrey and I do. You know, his joke is always that working with me, I'll sort of walk up to him and I'll say, you know, the kind of, and he'll go, yeah. And then go do it. And you guys have your own shorthand, and you guys have that relationship, and I think that really shows up on film. I mean, I think it really...
But now, what was it like dealing with Donovan as a director? Because you outrank him, technically. As the star of a show... Well, okay. I'm just saying, as the
You're
star
all
of a show...
sworn to silence.
People tiptoe around the star of a TV show.
Yes.
Oh, are you okay, Mr. Donovan?
Right.
Maybe Bruce Campbell can say your lines of dialogue for you. I think that's a good idea. So as a director, though, you probably didn't have to do that as much. You could say, hey, pick up the slack in Act 2.
Well, I mean, actually, Jeffrey and I have, you guys aren't going to say anything, right?
No.
No, it's actually, it's fun. Because I've noticed, like, he'll get sort of keyed up about saying something to me, like, okay, is Matt this is going to be a problem? But there's a scene in the movie where you ride on a burro. And Jeffrey had this idea, and I could just see when he sat down to dinner that he gets this look in his eyes when he's got he's got something he wants to say, and it's sort of like in the back of his mind, and I can see him kind of planning how it's going to come out. And then, so he sits down, and he wants to talk about this burro, and he's kind of planning how to do it, and I know that something's coming, like there's something he wants to tell me about, he's worried that I'm going to say no, and so we're dancing around it, and then I'm getting nervous, and then finally, and it always happens with me and Jeffrey, like, we'll realize, oh, wait a second, we're friends. Oh, we can just talk about this. And it's actually, it was a really nice conversation ultimately, and I liked the idea, and it worked out really well on the show. So that's sort of, that's kind of what it ends up being. Like, a lot of times Jeffrey and I will do that dance. We'll be sort of like, oh, he's the star of the show, oh, he's the showrunner, what is this? And then it's nice, the nice news is, almost all the time we agree, so it doesn't really come down to that. It's really.
By the way, on behalf of Jeffrey Donovan, if I don't say this, he's going to give me that same death stare again on Monday. He wants to be here. Matt Nix will not let him come here. He works every day in every shot of every scene. He can't be here because people think, oh, well, Jeffrey's too good for us. No, he's sweating his ass off in Miami right now. He can't be here.
No, Jeffrey would absolutely love to be here, and we'd love to bring him here someday. Yeah, the challenge has always been, I just have to write him out of an episode of Permanent,
which is completely impossible.
So that's a tough thing. Skype, not a bad idea. Skype, I like that. I like that idea.
Technology, man.
Technology. Yes, I know about that. So I have a couple quick ones for you. We're gonna move on to something else in a second, but a few things I just want to call you out for. T-shirt. You wore a T-shirt the entire time on set in Bogota, even when the entire crew was huddled around an open fire, watching their own breath, shivering out of control. Why is that?
The theory is on movies to be... Parking lot, far corner. Well, it's the Evil Dead theory. If you stay sort of miserable the whole shoot, you'll never get really miserable. Because here's the actors around the heater. Well, hey, what's going on? Yeah, after this show, what do you got coming up? No, not much. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's so cold! And it's like the image that you had, the memory of this wonderful feeling right here. By the time you get to here, it's gone. You have no memory of this anymore. So I've learned pretty much that in my Michigan background, I think, but yeah, all you need to do is just ice fish once. I played hockey and crap like that, so it was a normal thing to do.
Well, yeah,
Plus, I was so in character, Matt.
Yeah, it did lead to the crew doing a lot of like El Gringo es macho. It's pretty good.
I had to make an example for the Colombians.
Now, speaking of that, also, how did your Spanish improve during your time in Colombia?
Oh, my Spanish is just so tragic. They wanted to take my car in Mexico during McHale's Navy. Yeah, I know, nobody saw it, I understand. Yeah, whatever, okay, whatever. Not like we didn't work hard on that goddamn movie. So in Mexico, I'm driving a rental car with an expired tag, because there was no license plate, just a piece of paper stuck to the back window. And I get pulled over in Guadalajara, which is 100 million people. It's a giant city. And the guy's making gestures like, I'm going to take your car. And then I'm going to do something horrible to you, whatever. So I talked my way out of a ticket. I talked my way out of him stealing my car in Guadalajara. And you had to just say, it was all about, we learned a terminology that you say to the guy, the police officer, can I give you the fine? And can you pay the judge? Oh, thank you very much. You're not saving me all that time, rat bastard. So, well, I went to pay him on the street. I'm like, Jesus Christ, okay, fine, here's the money. He goes, no. I didn't know the rules of extortion. I get back in the car, and he hands my license back in, and we do the old swap-a-roo. Then what does he do? He calls his friend, hey, some loser gringo's coming your way. 2 miles, boo! By that point, I just pulled my pockets out and went, nada, senor, nada. And he went, get out of here, just get out. And I think he probably went back and split it with his buddy. But thank God for Translator Pro. It works. But, wow, weird little sayings. So like, you'd be driving with your guy and you want to say, lots of mud today. Maybe it doesn't come out like that though, because half the times I would go, talking of the mud. So I must have said something horrible about his mother or something, I don't know. But very passable. Sometimes on the set, there's only so many people who spoke English. So there would be times where I'd go to talk to the 2 people that could speak English around me, and there would be no one, so I would just go, I guess I don't need that. So.
Now, we do need to transition into one particular issue while we're there. Bogota is very high in the mountains, and altitude is a problem for some people, and it was very difficult.
The city itself is 8,600 feet, and we filmed up at 11,000.
Filming at 11,000, so you see the entire crew walking up hills and going, and you know, some people it affects worse than others, and unfortunately we did have an incident on the set. A writer-producer, Aaron Ginsberg, who I sent out to help with the movie, did a little documentary on what happened, and we brought it here to share a portion of that documentary. The full version is on the DVD, but we wanted to let you know.
It's a warning.
Yeah, exactly. It's not all things are happy. Sometimes things go terribly wrong, and so we'll just share that now. So now we'd like to open it up to the audience for some questions. So if anyone has questions, please ask away for Bruce or for me.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
You look great. No, you look. Yeah, he's cute too.
I've never seen seen that Batman logo before. Where'd you get that shirt?
I think I got it at
That's so cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, what movie is that from?
Batman?
Is that the one with the guy in the tights or the one where he dresses up like a bat?
What do you think about that?
Are you mocking me, lady?
Okay, ready?
Yes, now I'm ready. What's your question? 4,000 people there. Can we get to like 2 questions?
I wanted to know, have you done any research or connected with real Navy SEALs to prepare for your roles?
Thank you for asking. I did 2 things to prepare for the role of Sam X. Jack and shit. The advantage is, in the script, he was written exactly as my age at that time, so I could just be the former Navy SEAL, not current Navy SEAL. Thank you for asking.
Real quick, I know there's nothing, but I do want to say, in the writer's room, we actually talked to a number of Navy SEALs, and I will say to anyone who is a Navy SEAL, in this movie, we actually tried to get sort of the authentic Navy SEAL insignia. Unfortunately, they're copyrighted, so we did our best. But yes, a shout out to, I know you guys have a lot of military fans.
Are you
a shout out
this?
to our brave Navy
we're
SEAls
not allowed to
who...
record.
Yes, sir.
Hi, this is Brett Bruce.
Okay.
Even though you're the star of this movie, were you the #1 call on the list or still the #2 call on the list?
You know what? This year they put these security barriers up, not to keep you from me, keeping me from you. No, Jeffrey Donovan was still #1 on the call sheet. That's how we got him directed. Yes, you can still be #1. Yes.
Well, that's okay. 2 things. One, can you just wink really quickly? Because that would be awesome. And 2, sorry, I'm like the most awkward person ever. 2, can you tell me like a scandalous story that's happened on the set?
Jeffrey Donovan and I have spent a lot of time in the Charger together. One time it just got a little out of hand. Or in hand. Now, why do you want me to wink? Can you even see me up here? Which eye? More roguish? I've been married for 20 years, lady. Okay, see if this works for you. See if this works. I didn't blink, but it's the same kind of thing. Thank you.
How's it going today? I have a really quick question. It could be for either of you guys, both of you can answer, but I know a few of my friends and I have been debating about this, but is Burn Notice actually based on the Bruce Campbell life story?
I'm so disappointed in you, sir. You came all the way to San Diego. Spent all that money on hotels and Sam Axe stuff, and you need something, sir. Yes, Mr. Potter. How's your box office this week? You're the richest son of a bitch actor on the planet. What are you doing here, Harry? Oh, you still love the genre so much, don't you, Danny? Sorry, am I making fun of your most beloved character ever? Yeah, well, he's dead now. He's dead. It's over. I'm not going to put a chainsaw in his hand. It doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, whatever, in your brain, lady. Sorry, Harry.
My question is for Matt Nix. What is your writing process and what gave you the idea for Burn Notice?
The short version is, I had always been interested in espionage, and I didn't really want to do a spy show that was about spies running around the world. I was more interested in spies as people. And there's a consulting producer on the show named Michael Wilson who had a background in intelligence, and we've been talking for a while, and I'd gotten kind of interested in that aspect of things, like who becomes a spy, and what is that person like, and what if we put that person in a different context and look at spies from a different angle. And as far as my writing process, before I started the show, I had a writing process, and now it's just write as fast as I can all the time.
Matt, what are you writing right now?
Right now, I'm working on...
You just wrote the episode.
Right now I'm directing episode 12. I flew in last night, took a red eye. I fly out immediately after this, go back to direct. But while I was directing this, I wrote the next episode, and I'm currently working on the 2 episodes after that. So we've got a great writing staff. Everybody writes together, but it's always, there's just always a lot of churning. So it used to be that I had to, have certain places and sit down in a cafe, and now literally it's like I actually wrote a significant portion of the Fall of Sam Max. No, actually, the truth is, I wrote a significant portion of the outline for the Fall of Sam Max while sitting in front of the monitors directing something else. I was like, okay, cut! All right, back to writing. Literally. So you just do it as fast as you can. So that's...
Thank you, Harry.
That's basically Harry.
This question is for Matt. Will you have a similar question or a storyline like this for Fiona, like a movie style?
This was great fun to do. That's ultimately sort of a question for Fox TV Studios and USA. But yeah, one of the things that we want to explore at some point is Fiona's backstory. If there's an opportunity to do that through a movie, that would be a lot of fun. But actually, one of the things we're getting into this season and the next season is everybody's emotional backstory, their family backstory, stuff like that. So it's definitely something we want to explore. Whether we get to explore it through a movie or just in the show itself is kind of left to people with great big bags of money.
Hello. My 7-year-old niece wanted to say something to you, Bruce.
How old is that kid?
7. Okay, I have to
You're
answer
a
my
lousy mother.
question. My question is for Matt Nix. How did you choose Bruce Campbell to be the most awesomest dude ever, Sam Max?
I'll give you your money later. Don't worry about it.
Really, the story was we were going through the casting process, and we were looking at lists of people, and we were talking about different people, and we were really down to the wire. It was like shooting in days. And
This point is they had to pick somebody quick.
no, our network executive, and you always hear a lot of stuff about network executives being terrible, but Alex Seppiel, network executive, said, "Hey, what about Bruce Campbell?" And my response was, "Dude, come on, we've got to be serious. Like that's not."
We need real actors in this show.
In all sincerity, I said, I do not believe that he will do it. He has not done a television series in a long time. Obviously, that would be amazing. That is impossible. We need to bring our feet back down to earth and find someone we can get. And he said, well, let's take a shot. And we took a shot, and he remarkably said yes. So truly, it It is a credit to and I've learned actually ever since. Don't aim low. I mean, sometimes the answer is yes. It was a great experience.
Well, obviously, to me, it was a breath of fresh air. It was a spy show that just wasn't slinky guys shooting guns. You know, there was more to it. It's the human side. Thank you, ma'am. Say hello to that no-good kid of yours.
Hi, my question is for Bruce. So this season I've noticed that Michael Weston has become a little bit more lenient and cracking a few more jokes than usual. And I know your character is so humorous and full of so much personality. And I want to know if you think he kind of rubbed off on Michael.
Wait, so you're saying that Michael Weston is having more fun this season?
Oh no, I never implied that.
So, help me through this, because obviously I don't know what I'm talking about. What are you asking again?
I feel like Michael has become so much more open and
So it's more open.
yeah,
And you're thinking that Sam's been a positive influence on Michael Weston?
Yes,
Well, of course he has.
Wait, actually, I got an answer for this. It's important, Bruce, that you maintain your hostile relationship with your fans, but I do want to say something that kind of gets at your question, which is Bruce in the first season characterized the journey of Michael Weston over the course of the show in a way that we have actually kind of said, I've said in interviews, we've kind of adopted in the writers' room, which is that on a kind of emotional level, the show is about Michael Weston learning to be like a human being. And that you were the first person to say that. And so, and obviously Sam Max on the show is a human being. And so I would actually say, just as the person, because the thing you have to understand is, the actors don't even know what they're saying. They're like puppets, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You don't have to stick your hand in them, but like they say.
I'm right here.
See, I made him say that. No, but the point is, to your question, from the writer's perspective, absolutely, yeah, that is part of it. So I believe we have time for one more question. So let's take one more.
Last question.
It took you that long to say it? That's the same.
All right, hi there, Bruce Campbell, big fan, obviously. I just want to know.
Choice in merchandising.
Oh yes, I cuddle.
Dark Horse booth, you got that from.
I cuddle with it every night. Okay, so my question to you, as Sam Max, what do you think of, out of all the crazy gadgets and stuff that you guys make out of cell phones and random house supplies, what was your favorite to make or would make?
Michael Weston usually comes up with the stuff that gets made. I just like hold drills and stuff. So I'll ask Jeffrey that question for you. Maybe Mac. What's Mac? Because Mac writes all this crap. What's your favorite build thing that they ever built?
I'd actually have to say the X-ray in the back of the car. That was a fun one. The back of the car X-ray. I mean, there's a lot of explosive stuff, but we'll do some fun stuff this year. One thing you should understand is that for the actors, most of that stuff is it's literally like hold drill, camera, right? Pick up object. Where does this go? Here. Again, it's the meat puppet thing.
Thank you, sir, for that insightful question.
Well, with that, I believe we have to wrap up. So is there anything you'd like to say in closing?
I would just like to give some more stuff away real quick.
before, I said, you know, Bruce really wants to give away some DVDs, and USA said, yeah, absolutely, as long as he gets to throw them. Every single one of them, which is awesome. No, I guess in closing, I just want to say that truly, I was directing the other day, and I was walking on the set. We built this great big thing, and we're blowing up a building. And here we are in the 5th year of the series, and I was walking out, and I realized, I said to myself, wow, this really never gets old. 5 years in, you know, you hear a lot of people talk about getting over it or getting tired of what they're doing or wanting to move on to something else, and truly for me, I walk on every day and I'm like, this is awesome! I get to do this, and a lot of that is, not a lot, some of that is working with me.
Well, we know that we would not be here if it wasn't for your support. So 5 years into this thing, we appreciate the fact that you're still tuning in. I think we have a couple more years in us. Maybe we'll see. But thank